ACAA men's basketball game between the visiting MSVU Mystics and your Mount Allison Mountains. At this time, I would ask if you would rise, remove your headwear, and face the flag for the playing of O Canada. And the starting five for the visiting Mystics are number 4, Adam Kalaka. Number 7, Jaden Smith. Number 14, Sam Gilmore. Number 20, Keegan Farrell. Number 24, Jackson Smith. And now, the starting five for your Mount Allison Mountains. Number 1, Kwame Sadie. Number 5, Peyton Augustine. Number 6, Jonas Monroe. Number 14, Ryan Norris. Number 24, Rashawn Ferguson. Head coach is Mitchell Weber.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the McCormick Gymnasium here on the campus of Mount Allison University for this ACAA men's basketball matchup between the home Mount Allison Mounties and the visiting Mount St. Vincent Mystics. My name is Tyler Vincent. Joining me on color commentary today is Ian Allen as we get you set for two teams on opposite ends of the spectrum currently. The Mounties coming into this one at 1-7, losers of 4 straight, looking to get back on track. And the undefeated Mount St. Vincent Mystics at 8-0 as they get off to a hot start there with Adam Callahan on the layup to give the Mystics the early lead. 5 on the floor for the Mounties: Asadu, Augustin, Monroe, Norris, and Ferguson. For the Mystics, it is Adam Callahan, Jaden Smith, Sam Gilmore, Keegan Farron, and Jackson Smith.
Yeah, Rashawn Ferguson with that layup on that, just laid that ball in. Good insertion, good insert pass on that one to get the ball into the key and go closer to the hoop.
Getting Ferguson involved early will be important for the Mounties as the backdoor cut there from Callahan, blocked by Ferguson. He pinned it off the glass, and Norris coming back the other way for the Mounties. Monroe gives back to Norris. Now Asadu on the far side. He's going to try a 3. It's too strong. Out of bounds. Possession goes to Mount St. Vincent. The last game for each of these teams, Mount St. Vincent, a 67-49 win Friday night at UKC. For the Mounties, it was a 74-67 loss at home to Crandall last Sunday, which was their last matchup. Ball goes inside here to Smith, misses the layup, and rebound controlled by Augustin. Augustin pushing the pace here for the Mounties, working against Callahan, now gives to Asadu. Asadu gives to Ferguson up top. They go dribble handoff. Asadu's going to try a straightaway 3. It's off back iron, top of the shot clock, and will be out of bounds. Possession going back the way of Mount St. Vincent. Adam Callahan bringing the ball up here for MSVU. Guarded by Augustin. They go into the low post here. This is Farron. Farron got the size mismatch. Now kicks out to the corner for 3. No good. That was Sam Gilmore in the corner there. And here comes Ryan Norris for the Mounties. Ferguson up top. They skip it to Monroe in the corner for 3. Too strong. Long rebound controlled by Norris underneath, and he finishes with the reverse. First lead of the afternoon for the home Mounties. It is 4-2 here early in the first. Smith guarded by Monroe, and they're going to say over and back. Good defense there by Monroe, picking him up right at that half-court line, forcing him to go into the backcourt. Dead ball turnover for the Mystics. Possession will go back to Mount A. That's one of the things that this Mountie team prides themselves on. They're currently second in the conference in opponent turnovers per game at 18.5. As we see Monroe flare off that screen, ball goes to the low post to Ferguson. Kick out, Norris for three, no good. Rebounded there by Callahan. Smith kicks it ahead to Gilmore in the corner for three, too short, and rebounded by Augustin. Augustin pushing the pace against Smith. Behind the back dribble into the lane. Strong take, but can't finish with the left hand. Good transition offense there from the Mounties early on. And nearly a turnover. The ball gets kicked out to Smith, and he knocks it down for three. Bit of a broken play in transition there. The Mounties couldn't rotate quick enough to Smith, and he knocked it down.
Yeah, Jackson and Jaden Smith, both being fifth-year seniors of this team out of Beachville, Nova Scotia. Both incredible ball players, and that's going to be what a lot of their offense is going to work around. Is going to be what they're going to run.
And conference all-stars in each of the last couple of seasons for both of those players, as Monroe tries the three from the corner that's no good. Asadu gets the offensive rebound and finishes with the little hook in the lane. Nice little post move there from the guard.
Yep.
You love to see that early on.
One of those little baby hooks.
Yep. And Smith up top, using the fair and screen, gets downhill and finishes with the right hand on the left side. Nice little inside hand scoop finish there from Jackson Smith. As Ian previously mentioned, a fifth-year forward out of Beachville, Nova Scotia.
Yeah, Norris gave him a little bit of room on that one and then wound up having to make a play, reach over the shoulder to try and block the ball, which is his low odds at best.
Smith, one of those bully ball type players, listed as a forward, but just 6 feet flat. Something you'll see more of in the college game than the university game for sure. As the ball goes inside to Ferguson here, he kicks out to Norris. Monroe, 12 on the shot clock, looking to use the Ferguson screen and does. Callahan does a good job to stay attached. Asadu for three, it's no good. You can tell that that's part of the Mystics' plan to let the Mounties' lower percentage outside shooters have those looks and crash from there as Smith misses the three from the 45, and the rebound is controlled by Ferguson. Gabe Powder coming to the table here for the Mounties. Ferguson on the drive, lost the handle, gets it back. Push shot, no good. Monroe there to collect. Monroe looking for help. Gives to Norris. Now back to Monroe in the corner. He drives baseline. Good defense there by Gilmore. Kick out to Augustin. Three ball on the way is no good. And rebound control by Callahan. Callahan looking to push the pace here. Dribble handoff with Smith. And they're going to say ball was tipped, so no over and back. 14 on the shot clock and counting. High ball screen here. They go to Callahan. Callahan drives middle. Working on Asadu with the left hand. He's fouled by Asadu.
Yeah, Callahan it's his continuing way. I've seen him play the last couple of seasons as well already. Good, solid, tough guard. He does not mind driving against anybody, and he will create openings in that key by driving in, forcing the double team. And if they're shutting him down, he'll kick the ball out to an open player easily.
And expect to see a few more minutes for Adam Callahan this afternoon, as one of the Mystics' top scorers, Isaac Matheson, off the bench, is out for today's matchup. So expect to see a shorter guard rotation off the bench for Mount St. Vincent this afternoon. As Callahan good on 1 of 2. Possession will go back to Mount Allison. 9-6 our score here. 5:39 to play first quarter. We thank you for joining us on YouTube and ACAA TV. Asadu pitches it ahead to Augustin. Now to Monroe underneath. Missed the layup, but he got fouled by Jackson Smith. And we'll head to the free throw line for the first time this afternoon. Something you'll see quite a bit of this afternoon from the Mystics defense, that press look. Good job by the Mounties to beat it quickly with the pass and get 2 free throws here early on for Jonas Monroe. Monroe good on the first. In his 4th year out of nearby Moncton, the captain of this year's edition of the Mounties. And goes 1 for 2 also. So a 1-possession game still here as Smith brings it up the floor for Mount St. Vincent. Uses the Farron screen. They get the switch. Smith for 3, and he laces it from about 4 feet beyond the line. It was a good closeout from Powder, but a better shot there from Smith. Monroe fakes the handoff, drives middle, lost possession, and now the Mystics have numbers. 1-0 for Callahan. He lays it in with the left hand, and we're going to get an early timeout here from head coach Mitch Weber of the Mounties as he wants to talk it over with his guys as we've reached the midway point of this first quarter. Mystics 14, Mounties 7.
Yeah, Mounties started that game out fairly solid and level, like on an even keel. And then the last few times they've been trying to looks like they're trying to force things a little too quickly sometimes. And that can make a huge difference in what's going to happen on the court. You've got to be able to move. They want to be able to move the ball up quickly, but you have to have enough patience to recognize when not to push it into coverage that's too solid and it's going to cause problems for you.
Yeah, and that's been kind of an unfortunate hallmark of this Mounties offense early in the season, currently leading the league in turnovers per game at 19. So that's something that I know Coach Weber will be preaching to his guys in the huddle right now. They're doing a pretty good job defensively, but it's those live ball turnovers that's giving Mount St. Vincent the early push opportunities that have allowed them to build this 7-point lead here in the first quarter. Teams look ready to go out of the break. And just trying to see if there's some new faces on the floor for either side. Doesn't look like it. Same 5s that we went into the timeout with back out on the floor. 5 on the floor for the Mounties: Asadou, Augustin, Monroe, Powder, and Norris. As we see this 2-2-1 zone press for the Mystics. Good job by Mount A to beat that. Good flash by Asadou. Monroe couldn't get it to him. Powder goes dribble handoff here with Augustin. 10 on the shot clock. Powder drives left, spins in the lane. Good take and finishes with the right hand. Nice take there by Gabe Powder. Started left and was able to spin back to his dominant right hand and finish the layup. Callahan, guarded by Augustin, drives left. Strong take and finishes and one. Adam Callahan, not the first time we've seen him at the free throw line today. It is the first foul on Augustin. Callahan got a good first step with the left hand there and was able to work Augustin all the way to the rim and finish plus the harm.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple of times already where the Mystics guards are getting that first step and just getting enough separation that it's causing Mounties a lot of grief to try and shut them down at that end.
Callahan unable to complete the three-point play the old-fashioned way as the ball goes up top to Powder here. Fresh face in the game for the Mounties. Has the ball now. Brennan Devereaux, the first year from Moncton, and makes an instant impact as Devereaux knocks down the 3.
It's nice to see Devereaux following up, continuing on with what he started hitting the last couple of home games. Last weekend, he was a key point on the offensive side of the board.
He has been an important member of that Mountie bench early on in this season. I know Coach Weber is really happy with the production he's seen out of his first-year forward, as that was Keegan Farron underneath with the layup for the Mystics. Asadou gives now to Norris. Norris on the drive with the right hand, gets all the way to the rim and finishes. Strong take by Ryan Norris with the right hand. And the Mystics pitch it ahead to Smith. Good heads-up play. It's almost like they're brothers.
Do you think?
Smith finding Smith there in transition for the layup. Asadou now. Stagger action for Augustin. He's going to try the 3. That's no good. Ball was deflected by Smith and controlled now by the Mystics with Gilmore. Callahan, one man to beat. It's Powder and finishes. Adam Callahan has had some impressive finishes around the basket here in the first 7 minutes of this game.
And the impressive part of that one is he wound up reversing his right-hand layup, so he could wind up actually keeping his body between himself and the defender. Great job by my brain shut down. Augustin. That was it down there. Just did drive in and got the point there.
No less impressive on the other end for Caden Augustin. Good strong take as they're trading buckets here as Smith ducks underneath once again. Another right-handed layup for Smith. The Mystics offense firing on all cylinders here. They've got 24 with 2.5 to play. Mounties looking to get a good possession here. It's Devereaux on the far side, working on Smith. Devereaux posting up now. Gets into the paint, tries to find a Seydoux on the cut, but it was taken away. Here we go once again with Callahan, and can't finish that time with the right. Good job by Devereaux to just wall up and contest that layup. Devereaux pushing in transition, comes to a stop. Nice one more pass from Norris, and a Seydoux knocks down the three. Great secondary transition there by the Mounties. Norris had a pretty open look, gave it up one more, and Seydoux knocked it down as Jackson Smith is starting to heat up for the Mystics. He's got their last 6, all within a foot of the rim. Devereaux keeps on the handoff. Now pitches it to Norris. Norris has Callahan on him. Good cut there by Devereaux, but it's taken away underneath by Gilmore. Callahan. Nifty handles here, gives up to Smith. Smith, good job there by Seydoux. A step back 3 is no good. Might have been a push off there from Smith. No call given. Augustin, nice crossover in the lane. Tough finish, no good. Powder's there. And we have a foul underneath. That will be charged to
Farron.
number 20, Keegan Farron. So Farron picks up his first foul there. Neither team close to the bonus yet. So we'll have possession for the Mounties on the baseline. Should be 14 on the shot clock. We'll see when that gets reset.
Yep. They just noticed it now.
There it
Good.
is. And Monroe to inbound. Stagger action here. They're trying to get Tector off it. Mounties got to get it in. They do to Ferguson. Ferguson's got a one-on-one matchup, goes inside to Monroe instead. Monroe can't finish, finishes the putback plus the foul. So great job there by Jonas Monroe of following up on his own miss. Number 8, Demerick Mercer will pick up his first foul. And Monroe, no good from the free throw line. I have to mention, I got a reminder the last broadcast about the pronunciation, of Deverex, not Devereaux. So my apologies to the Deverex family there.
Okay. I will make sure I'm on that too.
And possession back with the Mounties here. This is Tector. Tector gives it up now to Monroe. Final minute of play here in the first quarter. Mounties trail by 5. Ferguson on the drive. He picked up that pivot foot. And possession will go back to Mount St. Vincent. You'd think I'd be able to say that name considering it's my surname, but
we all have moments. We got a couple of quick shout-outs already. Jimmy Rowan, let's go Mounties. And Blazers Ball, U19 Elite, let's go Mounties.
Shout out to both of you. Unfortunate that number 2, Keith Rowan, missing this one for the Mounties with an injury. We hope to see Keith back healthy in the new year. And good deflection there. Ball still with the Mystics. It's lost out of bounds, and possession will go back to the Mounties. Great defensive possession. Strong pressure from all 5 on the floor there. Good communication. Forces the turnover. And now the Mounties will have a chance to make this a one-possession game. They go to Ferguson in the high post. Fakes the handoff. Now they go to Monroe. Monroe. Tector on the drive. Tries to find Ferguson inside. It got deflected. 5 on the shot clock. Deverex along 2. No good. Norris flies in. Can't tip it home. 5 on the game clock, and Ferguson puts it back. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. I don't think the Mystics realize it. And we have reached the end of the first quarter here in Sackville. Mount St. Vincent 26, Mount Allison 23. A strong end to the first quarter there for Mount Allison, Ian. A good way to get themselves back into this one, a one-possession game as we enter the second quarter.
Yeah, they're basically setting the tone for their own bench to come in when they'll be up and pushing it at high levels again right away in the second quarter. 26-23. This has been an offensive wow. Buckets are coming from everywhere. Most of them are inside. They're inside the paint. They're getting the ball in. Both teams are doing a good job of getting that ball inside the paint. Quick little update. Halftime in Fredericton. St. Thomas Tommies men are up 48-37 over Holland Hurricanes. And
That'd be a big result there for St. Thomas. Just to add on to your point about the Mystic offense there, Ian, just going through some of their recent games and you see the type of numbers they're putting up as we get a stat update, which I will share with you shortly. 104, 90, 90, 98, 88, and then 67 against UKC the other night. So this is a team currently first in the conference in points per game at just shy of 87.
Yeah, moving the ball up the court quickly the entire game, no matter who they're playing against. And also on that one is just they're also probably one of the more efficient shooting teams, if I'm not mistaken.
They most certainly are. Fourth in the conference in field goal percentage at 43, fifth in three-point percentage at 30. That has been something that you've seen early on. They're not shooting a ton of threes right now. A lot of their buckets, and part of that has been to do with live ball turnovers, but part of that has been to do with the Mystics want to push the basketball.
Yep.
They're getting a lot of looks at the rim. Some stats updates for you after 10 minutes of play. Currently leading scoring for the Mystics and for the game. We have a tie between Adam Callahan and Jackson Smith, both currently sitting on 9. For the Mounties, it is Kwame Asedu leading the way currently with 5 points. One thing to note for the Mounties here, currently leading +7 in the rebounding battle. They had 6 offensive rebounds in that first frame. Asedu on the drive. Deverex in the corner for 3. Knocks it down, and we've got a tie ball game here early on, as I think we've got a spill in front of the Mountie bench.
Yeah, the boys got a little sloppy between quarters.
And so we'll get that wiped up so we don't have any officials or coaches or players slipping in that little area between the sideline and the mat. And we're ready to go again. 26-26, brand new ball game here. This is Mercer for the Mystics, trying to drive baseline on Deverex. Good take, and finishes, and one. And so Demerick Mercer, with his first basket of the game, has a chance to make it a three-point play here from the free throw line. That's something that we've seen quite a bit here early on, and going to their left too. So the Mounties are doing a good job of getting these guys to their weak hand, but it's those straight line drives that are really hurting. And an offensive rebound there for Mount St. Vincent. Smith on the drive, kicks it out. 3 from the 45 is no good there from Garrett Malloy. And 1-on-0 for Norris, and he lays it in down the other way for the Mounties. Monroe tried to go for the steal. The ball got knocked out of bounds. Possession will go back to Mount Allison. Good play there by Monroe. He took a gamble, but it paid off, and he got possession back for his team. 2-2-1 press look again here. They're just going back into man from it. Asedu finds Ferguson on the roll. It was batted around and taken away by number 23, Micah Anderson of the Mystics. Smith kicks it now to the far side to Mercer. Good shot fake there. Now kick out to the corner. 3 ball, no good from Anderson. And now Ferguson with pace the other way. Lost it out of bounds. Good defense there by the Mystics in transition to get that deflection. Ball went off the leg of Ferguson and out of bounds. Smith, guarded by Asedu, calling out the offense. Up top now, this is Gillette. Mercer, off the ball screen, gets to his left hand. Now underneath, can't finish the scoop. Ball was controlled by Ryan Norris, but he turned it over there to Smith. 3 right away and knocks it down. Jackson Smith wasting no time after that turnover, getting that shot up, and the Mystics regain the lead. Asedu. Deverex looking to set a screen here.
That was
They're
Jaden
trying
Smith.
to find him on the roll. Pass was too strong and taken away by Smith. Mercer underneath. Blocked by Ferguson. Great play by the Mounties big man to win possession back for Mount Allison. Now Norris in the corner. Nifty behind the back move. Can't finish the floater. And rebound control by Gillette. Frantic pace here as the Mystics will now look to slow it down with Mercer. Good double ball screen action there. And good defense by the Mounties to nullify it. Smith for three. Too strong. Good defense there by Monroe. And the rebound by Deverex. Norris looking to get the Mounties into their offense here. Monroe pitches it back. Little pistol action. They dive Ferguson. Ferguson working one-on-one on Smith. Lost the ball off his leg again. Mounties got to save it before it crosses half. Monroe does. Just 6 on the shot clock here. Norris has to make something happen. Deverex for three. Knocks it down again. Brendan Deverex has hit 3 3-pointers here in the first half for the Mounties and has continued his strong play off the bench. Mounties 31, Mystics 31. If you're just joining us, Smith for three. That one's short. Rebound control by Monroe. Monroe being guarded 94 feet there by Malloy. Gets all the way down to the rim and finishes and one. Jonas Monroe had defense from one end of the floor to the other, but would not be denied as charged the foul to Jaden Smith. He picks up his first, and we have a timeout on the floor from head coach Danny DePalma of the Mystics. He wants to talk it over with his guys.
I think DePalma just basically wants his guys to settle down and just because they're pushing the way he wants them to, but they've been forcing into positions that aren't favorable to their own offensive sets, and that's the difference between the first quarter and what we're seeing right in the last couple of minutes. He's just going to get them to settle down and basically make sure they're a little more heads up and aware of where everybody is when they're running out those offensive sets.
Yeah, and it's a quick little 10-5 run here for the Mounties. As you mentioned, not just their half-court offense that's propelling that, but transition as well. So I know that's something Coach DePalma will be focusing on, is telling his guys to pick the ball up a little earlier so that the Mounties aren't having those downhill attacks so early in the shot clock. As the teams are ready to break the huddles here. And we've got one free throw coming up for Jonas Monroe. Getting to the free throw line has been a staple of the Mountie offense this season, second in the conference in free throw attempts per game at just under 21. Jonas Monroe and Rashawn Ferguson, a big part of that with their aggression inside, as Monroe no good on the free throw there. Now Mercer with it. Callahan up top, guarded by Powder. Right to left cross, now spins in the lane. Tough move there by Adam Callahan. And he finishes this time with the right hand to tie us back up at 33. Asadu telling Monroe to get out. Now gives to Deverex. Finds Monroe in the low post. Tries to kick it weak side. Augustin, good catch there. They go back inside to Monroe. He's got a one-on-one matchup here. Monroe goes up strong with the right. No good. Powder able to finish the putback just before the shot clock violation. Heads up play there by Powder on the weak side to put that back. Stagger action here for Mount St. Vincent. They curl Callahan off it. Callahan on the drive. Shot fake, shimmy. Now kicks it back out to Smith. Smith, 5 on the shot clock, puts it up and knocks it down. Jaden Smith has hit a couple of threes from well beyond the line. And also well contested.
Well,
very
he's
high
not
level
given a lot of room,
difficulty.
but he goes vertical very quickly and gets good elevation on that jump shot, which is giving him how quick he gets that ball from in his hands on the floor to up for the release point on those outside shots is insane, but it works.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, that's quick.
And it's one of those where you just got to give him a high five and run back down the other way. You're doing your work as a defender. Sometimes it's just better offense. As Augustin tries to straightaway three, that's no good. And rebounded by Jackson Smith. Jackson Smith cut off there by Augustin, now gives to Mercer. Callahan, can he do it from outside as well? He can. Adam Callahan for 3. I believe that puts him up to 14 points here
Can't be
in
about
the
that,
half. His first made 3 as well. Mystics 39, Mounties 35 as we come under the 5-minute mark. Powder on the drive, stripped by Callahan. He's all over the place. One man to beat is Tector, and he is fouled on the drive by Tector. So Sebastian Tector will pick up his first foul, and we will see Adam Callahan at the line for his 4th and 5th attempts of the afternoon. He has been the engine that has driven not just the Mystic offense, but the Mystic defense as well. A good strip down the other end.
Yeah, and offensively, once he drives that key, he's extremely good at changing directions laterally within there, makes that second free throw. But he also showed he actually has that range too. If you leave him alone outside, don't.
And a good cut there from Tector. Couldn't handle the pass from Powder. Ball on the floor. No jump called yet. Now we have the thumbs in the air from the officials as the Mystics, currently in control of the arrow, will get possession from that tie-up as Tector will leave the game here for the Mounties. Jaden Smith calling out a zoom action here. And they get the flare for Jackson Smith, and he knocks down the 3.
Pretty much the identical spot Jaden threw one. I mean, within 2 feet of where Jaden threw his up.
I think it might have been 2 feet closer, but the result just the same as Jackson Smith knocks down the 3 to give the Mystics their largest advantage as Powder with the response. Good cut there by Gabe Powder. Now Jackson Smith has Powder defending him. They're trying to go into the low post. They go handoff with Jaden Smith again. Now underneath it's Farron. He kicks it out to Jackson Smith. Tries the 3. No good. Too strong. Rebounded by Deverex. Deverex picked up by Callahan in the half court. Asadu goes high post here to Powder. Handoff back to Asadu. Now Norris. He's going to try his luck from distance and laces it. Ryan Norris for 3. And the Mounties have brought it back to within a 1-possession game. Callahan. Jaden Smith up top, guarded by Powder. Trying to work left, cut off. Now they go low post. Farron has the size mismatch. Good job there by the Mountie defense to come away with the ball. But Norris, as he was falling on the floor, a piece of his body, probably his head, was out of bounds.
Oh, he rolled and got called for the travel.
Oh, they're going to call the travel instead.
Yeah. It's that in position, you get the ball, and as soon as you try to either sit up or roll on the floor to get better position to get rid of the ball, that rolling motion means whatever point you've had solid on the floor is no longer travel.
Result was the same. Baseline out of bounds opportunity for the Mystics. They can't convert. And now Monroe gives to Asadu on the other end. They flash Monroe into the low post. Ball goes to Powder. Good cut by Asadu. Good hands in the passing lanes by the Mystics all afternoon. Have caused deflections and turnovers as Asadu no good from distance. And rebound control by Mercer. Here is Smith. Now gives to Jackson Smith. Working on Ryan Norris. Gets into the paint. Little floater in the lane. Good with the right hand. And so Jackson Smith continuing his strong play. He's up to 14 as well. Callahan and Jackson Smith, 28 of the 45 for the Mystics here in the first half. Powder. They bring the double. Can't finish. It comes to Augustin on the weak side. Augustin, charge called. Good job there by Demerick Mercer of standing in and taking the charge from Augustin on the drive. So he'll pick up his second personal. And so with 2:17 to play, we'll see Rashawn Ferguson check back into the game for Gabe Powder. You have to say, if you're Coach Weber, pretty happy with the offensive output that you've seen from your guys this afternoon.
Definitely,
I know he would want to see that 45 a little lower on the Mystics end, but a strong offensive performance so far by the Mounties. Jackson Smith on the drive, stripped by Monroe, and off his leg, out of bounds. Possession will go back to Mount Allison. Good defense there by Jonas Monroe. The Mountie defense having an impact, causing those turnovers that they do so well. Ferguson up top now. Hands off to Asadu. Augustin for 3 in front of his own bench. Rattles around, no good. Monroe gets the offensive rebound, gets a second offensive rebound, a third offensive rebound for Ferguson, and the Mounties cannot finish underneath. Jaden Smith on the drive, no good. Jackson Smith was back behind the play. I'm not sure if he's injured. They kick to Norris in the corner, a step back 3. It's down. Ryan Norris for 3, breaking out here in the McCormick Gymnasium. He's knocked down a couple, and he's got the Mounties to within 2. 3 ball for the Mystics is no good. That was Sam Gilmore. And now a chance for the home side to tie or take the lead here as we come under the minute mark here in the first half. Asadu uses the Norris screen, gets downhill, cut off, now gives to Ferguson at the high post. 6 on the shot clock, 5 on the shot clock. Mounties got to go. Norris, a 3 ball, no good. And a foul underneath is going to get charged to Jonas Monroe. So he will pick up his first on the loose ball foul there. It's the 4th team foul for the Mounties here in the second quarter. So anything in these last 42.5 seconds will be free throws for the Mystics. So important for the Mounties to defend without fouling, show their hands, and keep the Mystics off the free throw line here in these last couple of possessions. Jaden Smith on the drive. They get the switch onto Ferguson. Callahan lost the ball. Ferguson comes away with it. 1-on-0. Look out. And just missed the windmill jam that would have brought the gym down. Mercer on the other end. He can't finish. Gets his own rebound. Can't finish again, but he's fouled. And Ferguson can't believe that he missed the dunk there. Went for show instead of safety when he could have tied the game. And the missed dunk turned into 2 free throws at the other end for the Mystics. As we have some substitutions on the floor, Powder will come back in for the final possession here. And we'll see Demerick Mercer at the free throw line. A new addition to the Mystics this season, but in his 4th year. No good on the first free throw. And good on the second. And so Coach Weber will use his final timeout of the half here with 19.6 to play. Mounties can hold for the last shot here, trailing by 3. A 3 would tie it. A 2 would keep it a 1-possession game heading into the half.
Yeah, no, it's a great ball game coming in so far. It's nice to see all of this. It's like the game is. I can't believe I'm saying it's actually closer than I was expecting to see based upon the both teams' performances so far this season. But Mounties been doing so much correct out there today that they've been giving Mount St. Vincent basically nightmares down in Mystics' offensive end where they're not getting the chances. And I guarantee you the Mystics have not seen this many offensive rebounds against them. Mm-hmm. Probably not this season.
No.
But Mounties have done an excellent job of crashing those offensive boards. They just need to stick a couple more of them back a little more soon and try and get the baskets on them a bit more consistently. But they need to keep that pressure up in the second half second quarter so that things will go, or second half so things will go solid.
Yeah, and I think for the Mounties, a lot of resiliency shown in these first 20 minutes. The Mystics have had their runs, they've had their looks, they've had a couple of and one opportunities. I believe they've led by as many as 7 or 8. But every punch that Mount St. Vincent has thrown, Mount Allison has been quick to respond with a punch of their own. And that's why we've got a 1-possession game here with the last possession of the first half.
Yeah, and that kind of pressure is nice to see with Rowan not dressed today.
Yeah, no question about it. Mounties break the press here. Powder gives to Asadu. 10 on the game clock. Now gives to Monroe up top. Guarded there by Mercer. Strong defense. And we have a foul. Good foul there for the Mystics. It's only their second, so it's not going to put Monroe on the free throw line. And it'll force the Mounties to realign here for the last 5.9. They're trying to get Monroe coming off the stagger, and as they do, nearly threw it out of bounds. Augustin controls it. He's got 2 seconds, 1 second, puts it up, and it's off front rim. And that is how the first half will come to an end. Good hustle there from Augustin to keep that ball in play, though. And we have reached the end of the first half here at the McCormick Gymnasium here in Sackville. Mystics 46, Mounties 43. Ian, your thoughts on the first half?
Great ball game, as fast-paced as I was expecting to see. Excellent job by the Mounties, especially offensive boards. And both teams are coughed the ball up a little bit on sort of mid-court turnovers, trying to force the ball a little too quickly at times. But that's both coaches know that that's going to happen with what they're trying to design for their teams, because both coaches want this ball up the court towards the other team's basket as quickly as possible.
No question about it. And adding to your point there about the offensive rebounding, Mount St. Vincent, a very skilled team, but an undersized one. So a good job of game planning by the Mounties coaching staff to take advantage of that in the first half. We've got a good one for you. 20 more minutes to play. We've got a one-possession ball game. We thank you for joining us on YouTube and ACAA TV, and we'll see you in 15 minutes for the start of the second half. Welcome back to the McCormick Gymnasium here on the campus of Mount Allison University, everyone. My name is Tyler Vincent. Joining me on color commentary is Ian Allen. If you're just joining us, you missed a back and forth first half. Great basketball being played by both sides. Some updates for you statistic-wise. There's really only 3 names to talk about for the Mystics. They currently have 41 of the team's 46 points, and that would be Adam Callahan with 15, Jackson Smith with 14, and Jaden Smith with 12. For the Mounties, Ryan Norris leading the way currently, 12 points on 5 of 9 shooting from the field. Also has 5 rebounds to go along with that. And Brennan Deverex off the bench for the Mounties. Big impact in his 11 minutes. 3 of 3 from 3. He has 9 points and 4 rebounds. The Mounties also currently plus 14 in the rebounding battle, thanks to 11 offensive rebounds in the first half. And I believe we have a score update.
Yeah, with about 4 minutes left in the game in Fredericton, Holland Hurricanes are up 82-80 over the St. Thomas Tommies. That one's been back and forth. That one's basically a dogfight. They're both sitting and tied for 4th. The winner gets sole possession of 4th place. Important
as we approach the Christmas break and playoff seeding becomes more in view. Games like that, especially if you can steal one on the road like Holland is trying to do, very important when it comes to where you're placed for the first weekend of March. Although for Holland, Holland's hosting volleyball this year, not basketball. Pardon me. We are ready for the third quarter now. 5 on the floor for the Mounties. Monroe, Asadu, Ferguson, Augustin, and Norris. For the Mystics, it is the Smith brothers, Farron, Callahan, and number 14, Sam Gilmore. So return to starters for both sides. As we have Ryan Norris getting to the free throw line within the first 10 seconds of the second half here. No good on the first, looking to build on his strong day so far for the Mounties. Norris in his second year for Mount Allison out of Ottawa. Good on the second. Mounties turn the ball over 11 times in the first half. That's something they're going to be looking to quell here in the second. As the Mystics now driving with it was Gilmore, kicks out to Smith, no good. Gilmore gets the offensive rebound and finishes over top of Norris. So the Mystics giving a little bit of taste of the Mounties' own medicine there with the offensive rebound putback. Monroe, nice feed into Ferguson. This time, no windmill, just the 2-hand flush for safety. As we're back to a 1-possession game, Callahan gives to Smith. Smith, cross-court pass to Jackson Smith. Strong take and finish with the right hand. Jaden finding Jackson on that one. And the Mystics have won the race to 50. 50-46 our score. Monroe, guarded by Jackson Smith, kicks to Norris. Norris on the drive. Now gives to Augustin. Augustin, good right to left cross. Cut off, now gives to Ferguson. Ferguson driving right. He's cut off, gets back to his left and finishes. Beautiful step-through move there by Rayshon Ferguson, keeping that pivot foot down and finishing with the left. Callahan fakes the handoff. Now they go up top. This is Gilmore. Gilmore spinning in the lane. Tough little floater is short and rebounded by Augustin, who's pushing with pace. Augustin gives to Asadu. Asadu looking to use the Ferguson screen. They get it to Ferguson. Ferguson on the drive. Went up, lost the ball. And ball still loose. Rebounded by Jaden Smith for Mount St. Vincent. Callahan pushes it to the corner. 3-ball on the way from Gilmore is no good. Rebounded on the weak side by Smith, who kicks to Callahan. That shot is also no good as the Mystics' woes from three-point land continue here. As a steal, nearly a steal. Asadu controls it. He's got 10 on the shot clock, though. Asadu. And we should have had a reset, I believe.
Yep.
So We'll all take a pause here. Clock has been reset to 17. And it'll be a sideline out of bounds opportunity for the Mounties here. Asadu. Now Norris gives to Ferguson. Strong drive baseline. Couldn't finish with the right hand. And Jackson Smith comes away with the ball. Pitches it ahead to Callahan. He finishes with the right. And that's what Mount St. Vincent has been able to do so often here in this game. They turn missed shots and turnovers into quick transition buckets. Nice crossover there by Asadu. Lost the handle. Now gives to Monroe a 3-ball. That's in and out. And Ferguson fighting for it underneath. He's going to be the beneficiary of a loose ball foul charge to Keegan Farron. So Farron will pick up his second, and possession will stay with the Mounties in the half court. 14 on the baseline here for Asadu to get it in. They go to Powder. Powder working on Farron. Now kicks to Norris. Does he have another one? He does not that time. Rebounded there by Keegan Farron. Now Jackson Smith for the Mystics. Smith behind the back dribble. Tried the step back, lost the handle. Callahan, nice backdoor cut. Drops it in for Farron. Beautiful offense there. Good penetration reaction from Mount St. Vincent. And they get the layup underneath. Asadu uses the Powder screen. Now goes to Monroe. Monroe hands off to Norris. Thought about the 3. Now puts it on the deck. Tough step back 2. That's down. Ryan Norris. He is now up to 15 on the day. Smith underneath to Callahan. That shot's no good. Monroe saved it, but to a Mystics player as Jaden Smith tries the 3. No good. Augustin, ball's on the floor, controls it. Coach DePalma calling for a double dribble, but Augustin is able to finish down the other end and gives a foul there on Mercer. And there was just a confusion as the points were given the wrong way. Augustin picked up his 3rd foul there. An unfortunate 3rd to pick up on kind of a broken play in transition there for Caden Augustin. So he will sit with 5:50 to play here in the quarter.
Well, it hasn't gone up on the clock yet, which is...
And we're back underway here as Callahan, guarded by Deverex, driving with the right hand. And a foul called on Deverex on the drive. And while we wait for the free throws from Callahan, just having the game sheet sorted out with the foul on Augustin. And now we're ready for Callahan at the free throw line. Too strong on the first. Callahan currently averaging 13 points a game. He did that in 20 minutes. And we'll see what he's got left the rest of this one as he's good on the second free throw to extend the Mystics lead to 3. Here is Asadu. Now Monroe gives back to Asadu. They go into the low post here to Monroe. He's got a one-on-one matchup on Jackson Smith. Strong take, and he gets fouled underneath and has earned himself a trip to the free throw line there. Slow to get up. We hope Monroe is okay after that collision underneath the basket. Asadu's given the thumbs up. Monroe just catching his breath. And he's back on his feet and ready to shoot 2 free throws. So Monroe currently 0 of 2 from the free throw line today. Or excuse me, 1 of 4 from the free throw line today.
Unusually low for him.
Unusually low for him. Also unusually low as a team. That was their only 4 free throw attempts of the first half.
Oof.
Ryan Norris had a couple to start the second half. And now Monroe knocks down his second free throw of the game. And we'll look to knocked down his third here. And does so successfully. So Mystics 55, Mounties 54, 5.5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Mounties have been within striking distance the whole afternoon, but just haven't been able to get the lead as Farron working underneath on Powder is no good. Deverex comes away with the rebound. Looking for an outlet, finds Norris, and they pitch it ahead here to Monroe. Monroe driving baseline, strong take, goes up with the left and finishes. And right on cue, the Mounties have their first lead of the second half, and indeed their first lead since 8:13 of the first quarter. 56-55, Smith on the drive, no good. Jackson Smith with the offensive rebound. And I don't think I've ever seen a wedgie from that close to the basket, Ian. Normally you see that on outside shots, but I guess they're going to rule that a missed shot. Normally that would get ruled as a jump ball, but they'll rule that as a missed shot, and Jackson Smith will have 2 free throws here. And he's short on the first one. Free throw percentage has been a struggle for this Mount St. Vincent team, currently second last in the conference at just better than 71% from the free throw line. As Smith good on the second there. As we have a substitution for the Mounties. Number 13, Sebastian Tector checking back into the game, replacing number 6, Jonas Monroe. Mounties doing a good job breaking the press here with Powder. Powder lost the handle. I believe that shot was blocked by Farron. And now it's Mercer pitching it ahead to Jaden Smith for 3. That's short. Ball's on the deck and controlled by Norris. But we've got a foul. And possession will stay with the Mounties. Charge to foul to Demerick Mercer. He picks up his third.
Yeah, and just sort of quick little update that Holland at St. Thomas game is finished. Hurricanes wound up winning 85-83 to give them sole possession of fourth.
An impressive and important win for the Holland Hurricanes there on the road in Fredericton. And turnover there for the Mounties as Farron picked off the pass from Deverex. Mystics running in transition. Good kick out to Jaden Smith. He's no good for 3. Jackson Smith gets the offensive rebound and puts it back. Jackson Smith following his brother's miss and putting it up for 2 and regaining the lead for Mount St. Vincent. Ball deflected there. Tector. Now Norris up top. They kick out. Deverex. Does he have another? Too strong. Gets his own rebound. Nice little dump off pass to Powder. Now they try to skip it. Asadu comes away with it. Can't knock down the 3 ball. And Farron comes away with the rebound. Callahan now tries to go right to left cross. And the ball hit a few feet, but the referees say no kicking motion happened. And so the turnover will be charged to Callahan. And the Mounties have possession here. Horns look. They give to Norris. Now flare him off of Powder. Norris on the drive. Good defense there by Jackson Smith. Powder, 3 on the shot clock. Can't knock down the short corner jumper. Tector battling for it and wins possession back for the Mounties. Great job there by Sebastian Tector. Battling with Mercer for that offensive rebound. Couldn't fully come away with it, but last touch by Mercer. So another possession is won here for the Mounties. 3:11 to play here in the third quarter. They get Deverex off the stagger action. Looking for help. Finds it in the form of Ferguson on the low post. Kicks it back out to Deverex. 6 on the shot clock. Asadu wants a screen. He's got to make something happen. Asadu kicks to Deverex in the corner. It's good. Brennan Deverex for 3. It's his 4th of the day. And the Mounties, back and forth we go. Regain the lead, 59-58. Farron up top, gives to Callahan. Monroe working hard to stay with him. Now Mercer, guarded by Deverex. They go into the low post to Jackson Smith. Working on Tector, a fall-away jumper off front rim and controlled by Monroe. Monroe now gives to Deverex. Monroe up top, slowing it down here for the Mounties. Asadu gives to Ferguson on the high post. He keeps, now gives to Deverex. He's going to try another, and I think that was deflected by Farron. Rebound control by Mount St. Vincent. Good job in transition. Blocked by Deverex. He's all over the place. Brennan Deverex got the block in transition for the Mounties, and they come back the other way with Asadu. Now Monroe, top of the key, guarded by Mercer. He wants a screen from Ferguson, and he's going to get one. Uses the screen, looking to get downhill. Good job by Mercer to stay attached. And Ferguson just picked up the pivot on that jab step from the elbow. And we have a timeout on the floor here, called by the Mounties, I believe. Nope, called by the Mystics. So Coach DePalma wanting to talk it over with his guys, also wanting to quell a little bit of the momentum that Brennan Deverex off the bench has provided for the Mounties here in the third quarter. As previously mentioned, in other action this afternoon on the men's side, the Holland Hurricanes coming away with an important win in Fredericton. If you weren't able to join us for the women's match previous to this, you missed a good one, as the Mountie women were able to secure a victory on their home floor against the Mystics in a battle for first place in the ACAA going into the Christmas break. So the Mounties will hold that honor at 7-2. Teams ready to go out of the timeout here. 1:48 to play here in the third quarter. Mounties 59, Mystics 58. Have to say here in this third quarter, not as high-powered offensively as what we saw in the first half. Both teams really locking down and making defense a priority. Here is Jaden Smith, guarded by Tector, nearly turned it over. Possession will stay with the Mystics as the Mountie bench gets instruction to stay down. As Callahan on the drive, comes to a stop, kicks it out to Mercer. Mercer's going to try a three that's short, missed everything, and Deverex comes away with the rebound. No numbers here for the Mounties, and they will slow it down. They find Ferguson in the high post. Mercer was coming for the swipe. Good job by Ferguson to keep possession of the ball. Norris uses the Ferguson screen. He finds him on the roll, and we're going to get a charge call there as Ferguson will pick up his first foul of the day on the offensive foul. Second charge of the afternoon for the Mounties, so a good job by the Mystics defense of getting set on those drives and forcing those turnovers. Here is Callahan for Mount St. Vincent, using the double screen, shoots behind it, and knocks it down in front of Ryan Norris. A tough shot there from Adam Callahan. That's his second three of the day, and it swings the lead back in the visitors' favor. Does Monroe have an answer? You bet he does. Jonas Monroe with no more difficult a shot than what Callahan just made. Both teams trading difficult three-pointers as they don't let him get to the double screen that time. Mercer stripped by Monroe. 1-on-0. Look out. Nope, he's going to opt for the layup instead. He learned from the mistake of Ferguson at the end of the first half there and safely lays it up for two. And it's, if you can believe it, the largest lead of the day for the Mounties, 64-61. 1 second difference, shot clock and game clock. Smith with the ball, guarded by Tector. Farron sets the screen. They find Mercer on the weak side. Inside to Farron, he's fouled. And we're going to get two free throws here for Keegan Farron with 2.7 left in the third quarter. Pretty good defense there by the Mounties, but a good job by Farron finding space underneath as he rattles home the first free throw. First chance to mention him in depth Keegan Farron in his third year for the Mystics out of nearby Bedford, Nova Scotia. Nearby meaning to Mount St. Vincent, as Deverex throws it up from half court. That's no good. And we have reached the end of the third quarter here in Sackville. The Mounties, their first lead at the end of the quarter this afternoon. They were trailing by 3 at the break. They are ahead by 1 entering the fourth, 64-63. Really good defense there by the Mounties in that third quarter. 26 in the first for the Mystics, 20 in the second, just 17 in the third there. So trending in the right direction as the Mounties look to close their second win of this.
Yeah, Mounties are basically, they snugged up their team defense on that one. The best good example was right near the end of the quarter there, one where Rashawn Ferguson stepped around on the low post to knock away that ball. Mystics got the ball back, but it meant that they were having to reset their offense rather than having a nice chance underneath. And actually, Mount A might have been a little better on fast break points and points off turnovers for the third quarter than the Mount did, and those are both very useful things for the Mount during the first half.
And right on cue, we have our stats update brought to us by our good friend Joseph Gonzalez. So at the end of the third quarter, leading scorers for both sides, Adam Callahan leading the way for the Mystics. He has 21. Jackson Smith right behind him with 19. Both players 8 of 12 from the field. So doing it at a really efficient clip right now. Jackson Smith also with a double-double. He's got 10 rebounds. For the Mounties, 3 players to talk about. Ryan Norris, he has 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. Jonas Monroe had 9 points in that quarter. He went from 5 up to 14. Getting himself to the free throw line was a big part of that. And Brennan Deverex hit another big-time 3 for the Mounties. He's up to 12 on the afternoon. Points off turnovers, you mentioned there, Ian. 2 points for the Mystics in that quarter off turnovers. 5 points for the Mounties. In terms of second chances, 5 second chance points for the Mystics in the third quarter and 3 for the Mounties. We are underway here in the fourth quarter as they flare Smith for 3, no good. Ball is loose and controlled there by the Mystics. Smith on the drive, lost it, and Norris comes away with it. It's a 2-on-1, and I thought maybe there was a foul there from Malloy in transition on Monroe, but they're going to say that the ball was not in either player's possession. Therefore, no call. Ball went out of bounds, last touch by Mount Allison, so Mystics possession here. And we're back underway with Callahan. Callahan tries to go handoff with Jackson Smith. He's going to try a 3 instead. It's short and rebounded by Ferguson. Deverex pushes it ahead here to Monroe. He's going to slow it down and use the Ferguson screen. Monroe, a deep 3 is too strong and rebounded by Jackson Smith. He's pushing with a frantic pace. Smith all the way end to end, no good. Can't finish the coast-to-coast layup, and Monroe wants to go right back the other way at the same pace. Now it's Norris. Norris from 4 feet behind the line. Nothing but net. Ryan Norris for 3. It's his third of the afternoon, and that touched no part of the iron on the way down. It's the Mounties' largest lead of 4. On the roll, he lost it out of bounds. Possession is going back to the Mounties. That was Gillette that lost it out of bounds. And so that you can sense a shift in the momentum here in the second half of this ball game. The home crowd getting behind their Mounties, looking to end this undefeated spell for the Mystics. Good cut by Monroe, and he's fouled by Jackson Smith on the floor. So possession will stay with the Mounties on the end line. 14 on the shot clock as Jackson Smith picks up his second foul. Something that's been nice to see in this game today and has been a lack of foul trouble from both sides. Both teams have not had to take players off the floor because of foul trouble, and it's allowed for a great ball game where we're seeing the best of the best as Norris can't hit the 3 there. And Callahan comes away with the rebound for Mount St. Vincent. Using the Gillette screen, Callahan kicks out. Smith, a three in front of the Mountie bench, knocks it down. Jackson Smith, he hits his second three of the day. He's up to 22 points on the day. Monroe gives to Norris. Looking to use a Ferguson screen and does. They get the switch. Monroe gives to Deverex in the corner. 8 on the shot clock. Monroe driving with the left hand. Stripped and turnover there as Jaden Smith comes away with it. I thought there might have been a double dribble there. Euro step in the lane and one. And so a tough break there for the Mounties as Jaden Smith might have gotten away with a double dribble in the full court there in transition and then comes back down the other way and finishes, count the bucket and the foul.
Yeah, I do agree. It was close up at the defensive end with Smith with the putting the ball down once he gained control. I think what the referees might have seen was that first contact might have just been trying to gain control, got control, and then he put the ball down. Looked a little different from up here, but the officials are down next to it. We're going to go with them on that call.
Yep. And so the Mystics have regained the lead here, 69-67. Deverex picks up his third foul, and now Tector with it for the Mounties. Powder up top. And we got a travel call there on Gabe Powder. And so for the Mounties here, just got to take a deep breath, relax, get a good stop here. You're still very much in this basketball game, just a 2-point game. Plenty of time, over 7.5 to go. And up top, this is Gilmore, guarded by Powder. Now Jaden Smith on the drive with the right hand, and they're going to call the foul on Tector, and they'll say he was on the way up. And so that will be 2 free throws for Jaden Smith. Smith, the first time at the free throw line today for the Mystics. Good on the first. Excuse me, the second time at the free throw line. He had the and one on the previous possession. I'm looking at my stats from the third quarter where he had no attempts. Here is Asadu now for the Mounties. 4-point ball game. Gives to Norris on the far side. Norris working on Jackson Smith. Strong take. No call. And Jaden Smith comes away with the rebound. Cross-court pass to number 12 in the corner. That was Garrett Malloy. And he traveled on the baseline to give possession back to Mount A. Mystics matched up here. Powder setting the screen for Asadu. Malloy goes under it. Asadu hands off to Monroe. And a good swipe there by Jaden Smith. Monroe retained possession. Ball's batted around. And last touched by Sebastian Tector, much to the delight of the Mystics players and bench as they get possession back here. Important possession here for both sides. Mystics looking to make it a 6 or 7-point game. Mounties looking for a big-time stop. Jaden Smith, guarded by Tector, driving with the right hand. Kicks it out. It's taken away by Asadu. Smith turned the ball over. Asadu, right to left cross. Now gives to Augustin. Augustin on the inside now. Monroe working on Callahan in the low post. He was stripped. Possession will stay with Jonas Monroe and the Mounties. 12 on the shot clock as we see 2 substitutions for the Mystics, as it's Farron and Mercer checking back into the game for Malloy and Gillette. Asadu looking for an outlet. Finds one in Powder. 10 on the shot clock here for the Mounties. Powder driving with the left hand. Strong take, goes up with the right and flips it up and in. I don't know how much he knew about that. Kind of just threw it up at the end of the shot clock, but was able to bank it home. And it's back to a 2-point game as we reach the 6-minute mark. Callahan, straightaway 3. That's off front rim. Rebounded by Augustin. Asadu, driving middle. looking for an outlet, finds it with Tector, a three, too strong, and rebounded on the weak side there by Mercer. Mercer, good find. That pass had eyes, and it found Callahan in transition, who's able to finish with the left hand. Ferguson and Deverex getting ready to check back into the game here for the Mounties. Powder in the high post. Gives to Monroe. A three from the 45 is short. And they pitch it ahead here to Jaden Smith. Smith finishes with the left. And we've got a timeout on the floor here called by Coach Weber as the Mystics have opened up their largest lead of the fourth quarter. They are now currently ahead by 6.
Yeah, I know. We've got a frantic pace going in this ball game. It's great to see. It's good, fun good, fun basketball to watch. Both teams, you said, they might be trying to force things a little too quickly up on the offensive ends, but it's part of the game plan. They want to get to the hooping, sort of get back, make that shot, get back and play defenses, get everything, and then get the ball back to themselves again. Is the point. They just want to keep things moving. That's what both these teams will do historically. Mount's been leading. You can see from their offensive output so far this season, that is their game plan from day one. I said, as opposed to, I believe what we put out with the women's game earlier is, especially with the women's game, a lot of time with their first thing they should be aiming for normally is shut down the other team on defense. Baskets will come, and they'll still wind up pushing the ball fairly quickly up and down the court, but had a 5-point spread on that last ball game, but lower scoring than you might have expected from two teams like women's teams like Mount Allison and Mount St. Vincent. But it's because they're playing so aggressive on defense. They played so aggressive on defense, and that's carried straight over to this game. You're getting so much full court pressure here. I'm getting tired watching these guys. Woo.
Yeah, it can be. It's a little challenging to call sometimes too. In that the possessions are coming fast and furious for both sides. Both teams doing a great job of working in transition offense. As Ferguson has it in the high post here for the Mounties, trying to find Monroe over the top. He's got a size mismatch on Mercer. Can't finish with the right. Gets his own rebound. Up again and finishes. Good job. Good stick-to-itness, as I've heard before from Jonas Monroe.
That is a tough one to get out.
Yeah. Ball goes into the low post here to Jackson Smith, working on Norris. The hook shot is no good. Rebounded by Monroe. He's looking for an outlet and finds it with Norris. Coach Weber calling out the horns action here for the Mounties. They go to Ferguson. Ferguson in the high post. They're trying to get that pass over the top to Monroe again. Good job by Mercer fronting it. Asadu uses the Ferguson screen. Finds Ferguson now on the roll. And they're going to say that he traveled. Good call on the far side there as Monroe started running before he dribbled the ball. And so possession will go back to Mount St. Vincent here. Good job to get a turnover on the last possession. Let's see if the Mounties can do it again. Mercer guarded by Monroe. That double screen action. Callahan trying to get middle. Good job by Deverex of not allowing it. It's Jackson Smith now finding Farron on the roll. Ball's loose. Another turnover for the Mystics as the Mounties come away with it with Ferguson. Monroe has options. Goes to Ferguson inside. Ferguson good with the right hand. And it's back to a one-possession game as we crawl under the 4-minute mark. Mystics 75, Mounties 73. 3:45 and counting to play. They get the switch. Smith working on Ferguson. Now Callahan's going to try a straightaway three and knock it down. Adam Callahan, a miscommunication on the screen coverage there for the Mounties. Left Callahan with more space than they wanted. That's his third three of the game. And the Mystics ahead by 5. Looking for Monroe off the flare screen. Now go to Deverex and Ferguson in the low post. Ferguson with 8 seconds, gives back to Deverex. Deverex drives baseline. Good pass along the baseline. It was kicked by Adam Callahan. An important kick there by Callahan as it gives the Mounties 10 more seconds on the shot clock. Fresh reset to 14. They were getting low. And Asadu looking for an outlet. Finds Ferguson. Ferguson tries to kick out. Finds Norris on the far side of the floor. Monroe, 8 seconds. High ball screen here with Ferguson. Monroe working on Farron. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. A step back jumper. Too strong. Rebounded by Ferguson. Kick out to Asadu. Deverex corner three. In and out. Why not? He's already hit 4. And Mercer, guarded by Norris now. Mystics will look to slow it down and chew this clock. Time on their side. Smith, straight away 3. No good. Asadu claiming he got caught on the screen there. There was no call. Deverex. Monroe, long range bomb is good. Jonas Monroe, I don't know what it is about that spot on the floor, but we've seen it from both teams this afternoon. About 4 feet behind the 45.
I was going to say a good 6 feet outside the line, yeah.
Mystics 78, Mounties 76. Mercer, guarded by Deverex. Trying to get downhill. He was stripped. Ball's on the floor. Monroe wants it more. He's won the jump ball and possession back for the Mounties. Great job by Jonas Monroe. 2 plays there that I really want to mention. One, the swipe on the drive to jar the ball loose, but then the presence of mind to dive on that basketball, sacrifice your body, win the tie-up and possession for the home side.
As strong as Monroe's been on the offensive end of the court, his strength, where he's been the best benefit to the Mounties so far this game has been on defensive end, pulling a lot of defensive boards and just taking control of the ball once it goes to the floor so many times.
Here we go. 2 minutes to play. 1 possession ball game. Mounties looking to tie or take the lead. Ball's on the floor. It's a turnover. Callahan, 1 man to beat Asadu. And Asadu gives the foul there. And will send Adam Callahan to the free throw line. I have to say, not a bad foul there from Kwame Asadu. It's only his second. And it's only the third of the quarter for the Mounties. So not putting them in a penalty situation just yet. Important free throws here from Adam Callahan. He's 3 of 7 at the line today. Knocks down the first there to make it a 3-point ball game. This is the big one here. Knocks this down, makes it a 2-possession game. If he doesn't, the Mounties can tie on this next possession. And cool as a cucumber, Adam Callahan from the free throw line there. And we've got a 4-point ball game again, 80-76. Asadu. Horns look here for the Mounties. Monroe looking to flare off it. They kick to Norris in the corner. It's too strong. Farron comes away with the rebound. Actually, no, he doesn't. It's on the ground. The Mystics will retain possession, but that's a fantastic job by Kwame Asadu. Heads up play to win the possession arrow back, which could be so meaningful here in this last minute and 33 seconds as we see Deverex leave the floor for Sebastian Tector. He's not going far. He's going to take a seat in Coach Weber's spot and get ready to check back into this game shortly. Mounties showing some full court pressure here in the final 2 minutes. Matchup pressure. And Monroe strips Mercer and finishes with the 2-hand jam. Great play there by Monroe, but the Mounties got to get back on defense. Jackson Smith kicks it out. Mercer. Now Jaden Smith will slow it down. Smith driving with the right hand. Comes to a stop. And ball's on the ground. It's lost. Turnover. Ferguson for the Mounties. Came away with it. We are approaching the 1 minute to play mark. It's a 1-possession ball game. Monroe guarded by Mercer. Looking for a Ferguson screen. 9 on the shot clock. Monroe picked up his dribble. Now Norris. 5 on the shot clock. And he stepped on the sideline there. A killer dead ball turnover there for the Mounties. But you got to trust your defense here. 51.6 to play. 1-possession ball game. Mounties are going to continue with that full court pressure here. Jackson Smith to be the one to bring it up for the Mystics. Norris guarding him. Now Callahan. They get the switch. Mercer guarded by Monroe. This is Jaden Smith guarded by Asadu in front of the Mountie bench. Skip pass. Callahan, corner 3. No good. And the Mystics come away with the offensive rebound. The Mounties don't need to foul here. 9 on the shot clock. Mercer, they go into the low post here to Smith. 5 on the shot clock. Spins. No good. Here we go. Shot clock turned off. 1-possession game. Ferguson threw the ball out of bounds. Ferguson throws the ball out of bounds there. A tough play. But we're going to get a timeout on the floor here. I believe. Yes.
Nope.
Timeout called by Mount Allison here. We've got 16 seconds to play. Obviously not what you wanted to get out of that possession if you're the Mounties. But the situation now, 2-point game, 16 seconds. Shot clock will come back on, I assume.
It'll be in the front court. It'll be
will
set to
advance
14.
this basketball, not wanting to play with the pressure in the full court.
And even just to get away from the pressure, yes, but it also gets the ball that much further from their own basket.
Yeah, no question about it. So for the Mounties here, you're looking for a quick steal, first and foremost. If you can't get that quick steal, you do have to foul. Even though the shot clock will be turned back on, it'll only be a 2-second difference. So not enough time to get a stop and go back down the other way. And so we'll see what type of pressure the Mounties dial up here on this possession. We'll likely see them switch any screen actions that the Mystics might have drawn up in that timeout. And surprisingly, the Mystics are opting to take this in the full court. So shot clock will be turned off. And if you're the Mounties, you can look to try and trap this. See if you can force maybe an 8 count here. And they get it into Smith. Smith breaks the pressure and fouled on the drive by, we'll see who the foul is on.
Should be Ferguson, I believe.
I believe it'll be on Rayshawn Ferguson. Yep. So Ferguson will pick up his second foul there. And so we'll have Mystics ball on the end line. That was the 4th team foul of the quarter. Mystics having some trouble getting it in. They throw it down the other way. It's out of bounds. The Mystics turned it over. And Coach Weber will use his final timeout. Ooh. What more can you ask for? Mystics 80, Mounties 78. We'll have about 12 seconds, I believe.
12.3.
12.3.
I think it's 3, yeah.
Is what the Mounties will have. They will get the ball in the half court. Shot clock will be turned off. A 2 can tie, a 3 would win the ball game and end the Mystics' undefeated run.
Still, the Mounties want to work themselves so they get a good shot opportunity, but they also want to use as much of that 12 seconds as possible because they don't want to go down, go score quick, and all of a sudden, with 8 or 9 seconds left for Mount to come get down the court, that's more than enough time for them to move the ball up the court.
And something else to note here, the Mounties out of timeouts, but the Mystics still with 2. So even if you do get a score here, as you mentioned, you want to take as much time off that clock as you can because the Mystics do have the ability to stop it on a make.
Yeah, and move the ball, move the throw in up into their front court.
Yep. All right, here we go. 12.7 to play. 5 on the floor for the Mounties. Norris, Ferguson, Asadu, Deverex, and Monroe. 5 on the floor for the Mystics. Farron, Callahan, Jaden and Jackson Smith, and Mercer. It'll be Deverex to throw in for the Mounties. Mystics defenders being given some last-minute instructions by the officials. The ball comes into Monroe. 10 on the clock. Ferguson working out of the high post. They find Monroe on the cut, and he finishes with the layup. Jonas Monroe. What a play call there from Mitch Weber to get his star. Have to say, an easy, uncontested right-handed layup was not what I was expecting out of that possession. Hell of a play call there by Coach Weber.
Perfect execution by the Mounties on setting it up. They got that screen over the top so that Jonas was open, got the ball, and just stepped down through the lane right away. Didn't hesitate at all. That's how he was able to get that open run to the hoop.
So here we are. 80-80 is our score. The Mystics, as mentioned, use that timeout that they have. They still have one more. We'll see that could come into play if they aren't able to get the ball in. If they're getting close to a 5 count, they might be able to call that. I'm not sure exactly how much time we're going to have on the clock here. I think it's about 3.5 seconds.
6.2. This time I am right.
6.2?
Yeah, last time I said 12.3, it was 12.7. It is 6.2 this time.
Okay, so we got 6.2. So not a ton of time was taken off the clock there with the Monroe layup. So now the Mounties got to dig in. and get a stop here. 6 2/10, as Ian mentioned. Inbound will come on the far side. And it'll be Callahan to inbound. Asadu putting pressure on the inbounder. Referee hands off to Callahan. And ball comes into Jaden Smith, guarded by Techner. Smith puts it up. It's no good. It's out of bounds. And I have a feeling the buzzer has gone. I think there should still be time on this clock. It's close. It's definitely close.
Yeah,
but I believe
the time would probably be under a second.
It should be under a second.
If they reset it.
In all likelihood, we are going to overtime here one way or the other, because even if the Mounties do keep possession here, they're out of timeouts. They can't advance the ball. So unless we get a full court heave at the horn, we'll see how much.
0.4 seconds.
0.4. I would say, what's the point?
Ooh.
But
well, there's also
the rule is 3/10 and below, you can't catch and shoot. So the Mounties, they have an opportunity to catch and shoot, but as mentioned, can't call a timeout. So they will have to go in the full court here. We'll see what strategy they opt for, if they go for the long pass or if they try the longer shot. The ball is knocked away by Mercer. And we got free basketball for you. 5 more minutes of action coming up as we have reached the end of regulation here in Sackville. It is the Mounties 80, the Mystics 80.
Uh-oh. What? Oh. I got a little nervous there. We seem to have lost a radio connection just to the fire score clock.
Yeah.
This one stayed lit. The one that's up above us stayed lit.
A little bit of a glitch with the shot clock, but we are all good now.
Now is not when we want the equipment to go sideways.
Yeah, so a 2-minute timeout for Coach DePalma and Coach Weber to talk over strategy
and
with their guys.
One thing of important note for this one is the penalty situation or bonus shoot. Now, why did they reset? I thought it continued on rather than resetting.
We'll have the officials probably confer with the table on that one. The Mounties with 4 team fouls in that quarter, which, as you mentioned,
and the Mount only had one.
That'd
be a huge difference if that's continued. I just can't.
I
said it's been 20 years since I've been on the court, and not quite as long since I've been fully aware with the rules. But I haven't had the last 5 or 6 years. I haven't been on top of the rule changes and make sure I know where everything is.
So we'll see what transpires there.
Yeah.
if the fouls get put up, the Mystics are in bonus for the next 5 minutes.
That is what the head referee is doing at the moment. They're changing them back up to 4 and 1 again. So that will mean that basically any foul, unless it's offensive by the Mounties, will put the Mystics on the line. And they've been probably a little lower percentage from the line than usual, I think.
Yeah, so the Mystics 13 of 20 from the free throw line today.
Wow.
That's a little bit under their average, currently averaging 71.6%, shooting 65% for the game today. And the Mounties have only been to the free throw line 8 times today. 6 of those coming from Jonas Monroe, and then the 2 from Ryan Norris at the start of the second half. And we are ready to go. The 8-0 Mystics, the 1-7 Mounties. One of these teams will come away with the victory here in the next 5 minutes. We'll see who it is. Monroe will get us started for Mount Allison. Goes to Ferguson. Ferguson fakes the handoff. Now gives it to Deverex. Deverex traveled. Yep, just didn't put the ball down before starting his drive. The first year with a first-year turnover.
Hey, that's an adrenaline move right there. Yeah, that's all that is.
Hard not to have the adrenaline pumping in an overtime game like this.
I'm not even on the court. Mine is.
Smith goes underneath here to Malloy. Malloy looking for Farron. Now it's Callahan. Callahan's step back 3 off front iron. Rebound control by Norris. Now it's Deverex in transition for Mount Allison. Norris wanting a Ferguson screen, uses it, Smith stays attached to him. Now they go to Monroe. He's going to try a straightaway three. It's too strong. Rebounded by Farron, and the pace does not slow down here with Jaden Smith. Jackson Smith punches middle and blocked by Monroe. Rebound underneath by Callahan, and he puts it back in. So a great play by Monroe, but heads up from Callahan to get the offensive rebound and lay it back in. The first basket of overtime. The Mystics lead 82-80. Monroe lost the ball, and Jaden Smith coming away with it. Deverex, behind the back move by Smith. Drops it off for Farron, and he lays it in. 2-possession ball game here. A quick 4-0 run in the last 2 possessions for Mount St. Vincent. Mounties got to get a good possession here. Monroe, 3-ball on the way. That's too strong. Battle for it underneath. Won by Farron. And now Malloy with it for Mount St. Vincent. Malloy kicks back out to Farron. Jackson Smith stops behind the screen. Kicks to Callahan. Callahan working on Deverex. Now Ferguson picks him up. Kicks it back out to Malloy. Malloy driving with the right hand. Blocked by Deverex. Brennan Deverex with his second block of the game. And it's an important one as we come under the 3-minute mark. Norris on the drive, gets past Malloy and can't finish with the right, but Ferguson there to put it back. Rayshawn Ferguson with the putback. He's up to 12 points on the day. And the Mounties are back within 1 possession. Callahan, guarded by Monroe. They get it to Jaden Smith. Jaden Smith tries to drop it off, and we got a kick ball. And so clock will stop with 2:36 to play here in overtime. As we have a substitution on the floor, Sebastian Tector will check in for Brennan Deverex. 14 on the shot clock here for Mount St. Vincent. They pop Farron to get it in. And a good back screen and one. Great play call there by the Mystics. Smith setting the back screen for Callahan. He found just enough space to get the pass through, get the layup up, the hoop, and the harm.
Yeah, a little surprised there's not quite enough communication defensively there for the Mounties. That screen should have been called, especially it was directly behind Tector.
87-82. A big three-point play there for Mount St. Vincent. Norris. He's going to try a three of his own and knock it down. Ryan Norris for 3. The response. Malloy. Now Callahan, guarded by Tector. Behind the back dribble. Cut off. Gives to Jaden Smith. He thought about the 3. Gives it back to Callahan for 3. Too strong. Out of bounds. Off the top of the shot clock. And the Mounties will have a chance to tie or take the lead here in overtime. And if you're the Mounties, you probably want the ball in the hands of one of your stars, Monroe, Ferguson, or Norris here. They give to Ferguson in the high post. Hand off to Asadu. Asadu has some space on the drive. Kicks to Monroe. Short corner jumper. It's good. Jonas Monroe ties the game at 87 with the short corner jumper. Mounties pressure picking up here in the full court. Callahan trying to get past Tector. Good job by the first year staying in front. Callahan trying to use a double screen. He lost it out of bounds. They're going to say it was off Tector's foot. And so no shot clock reset there. It'll be 11 seconds on the shot clock for Mount St. Vincent. Callahan to throw in. Gets it to Farron on the pop. Guarded by Ferguson. Jaden Smith. Smith tries a 3. Banked it in. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. Jaden Smith just banked in a 3 in front of the Mountie bench and was fouled on the way up. And a chance to make it a 4-point play at the free throw line. Huge free throw coming here for Smith. Knocks it down. Coach Weber opting not to use his timeout just yet. 2-possession ball game. Asadu gives to Monroe. Guarded by Jackson Smith. Monroe driving with the left. Cut off. Tough jumper. No good. Rebound controlled by Farron. Now Smith. And he hits it ahead to Callahan. Asadu's got to make a play. And a foul is called on Kwame Asedu. And Adam Callahan will head to the free throw line here with a chance to make it a 6-point game. Hard to underestimate the impact of that play by Jaden Smith to bank in that three. As we have,
I'm not sure what's going on here.
I'm wondering if Asedu may have
Looking at the board, it looks like his fifth foul is showing up on the board.
And so whenever there's a foul out, both teams get a 30-second huddle. That is for the team.
Yeah, coaches just have to remember not to send the new player coming in up to the table to come into the game until that 30 seconds is done, though. Otherwise, as soon as the player presents himself to come in as substitute, it's time to go play.
Yep. So Asedu checks out. 5 points, 4 rebounds. 5 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. As Callahan good on the first free throw there. And good on 2 of 2. Mounties got to go quickly here. It's Tector. Tector driving on Smith. Gets into the paint, puts it up. Shot's no good. Rebound controlled on the weak side by Jaden Smith. Now bringing it up. Mounties not looking to foul just yet. Smith on the drive, gets all the way to the rim. Can't finish. Ball's controlled by Farron, but he threw it out of bounds. So possession will go back to the Mounties here. Coach Weber calling out the horns action for his guys. 43 4/10 to play. Crucial possession here for Mount A. They need a basket, and they need one quickly. Here's Monroe. Monroe driving. Gets past the first defender. Kicks it out. Deverex for 3. Laces it. Brennan Deverex for 3. And we have a stoppage. And
sneaky feeling the main clock didn't stop when that basket went in. It's the same as that end of the game and or the end of the fourth quarter. Red of regulation time, last 2 minutes. Every time a basket is scored, the clock's supposed to stop. It becomes a throw-in situation on the baseline. Overtime, it's the end of each overtime period. Yeah.
They get it over half. Ball's deflected in the hands of Callahan. Mounties haven't fouled yet. Are they going to foul? They're going to let the Mystics play it out. Here's Callahan. Kicks to the corner. Malloy for 3. It's no good. Offensive rebound. And Farron puts it back in. And a back-breaking offensive rebound there for the Mounties. I was confused. I thought they were going to give the foul. They let the Mystics play it out. They got exactly what they wanted. Malloy took the 3 with time still remaining on the shot clock from the corner.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. Same as you are in that situation with not fouling. But it looks like Tector made an attempt to foul, and from where I saw, he definitely made contact. But I'm guessing what the officials were saying is basically it had no effect on the play at that point, so they let it go. And I understand that. If I was the home team coach, I might not agree, but I still have to understand that's the general underlying concept of officiating sports is you're not there to be a deciding factor in the game. You have to you want to let the players do that.
Yeah. And so we'll have. Do we have a time check?
We'll know once the timeout's finished counting down.
Yeah. Mounties, I assume, will advance 5.5 on the clock here. So need a quick score. You're out of timeouts if you're Mount Allison. So
timeout or foul, yeah.
And then
timeout or foul right away. And just remember, the clock will stop if they make that quick basket.
There we go. Tector to inbound. Looking for an outlet. Finds Norris. Norris puts up the 3 straight away. Doesn't go. Ferguson can't finish underneath. Bats it back up. It's no good. And we have reached the end of this one. If you joined us for the duration of it, you were treated to an excellent ball game this afternoon from both sides.
Yeah,
Two teams on opposite ends of the spectrum. The Mystics improving now to 9-0 on the season as they enter the Christmas break. The Mounties fall to 1-8 as they enter the Christmas break. Ian, your thoughts?
Yeah, great basketball game to watch. This is a type of game I'm used to seeing from them in previous years when both teams have been sort of fighting for that top spot during the season. But with the spread, the position spread within the standings coming into this game, I was hoping to see something like this, but was fully prepared to see something where the Mount might potentially come in here and rout the Mounties, but Mounties were having none of that today. They played solid ball, both ends of the court, just little lapses now and then, and that's all it's going to take against a team like the Mystics to give the Mystics the game. And Mystics know they came out of this, and they're very happy to have this win coming out off of that game.
Yeah. And you can't gamble on ACAA basketball, but if you could, I would hazard a guess to say that the spread would be a lot more than 5 for this matchup. Final stats for you here. Adam Callahan, 35 points for the Mount St. Vincent Mystics. Jaden Smith, 23. Jackson Smith finished with 22 and 11. For the Mounties, it was Jonas Monroe, 25 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals leading the way. But special shout-outs to Ryan Norris with 21 points, Brennan Deverex with 15 points off the bench, and Rayshawn Ferguson with 12. If I'm allowed one moment of a personal shout-out here, this is my final game calling Mount Allison men's basketball, and I want to give a very special thank you to the man to my left that has been calling each of these games with me and has been a huge help in my experience here at Mount Allison. He is truly the unsung hero of this school's athletics, and I just want to say a personal thank you very much for everything you do, not just for myself, but for every athlete here at this school, Ian. Not just in basketball, he is the man behind every broadcast that you see if you follow the Mounties, so thank you very much, Ian.
I got enough.
And with that, I would like to wish everyone a happy holiday season. Good night, and go Mounties.